collapses and leaves 11 miners trapped. And what needs to be done in Africa is to build cooperation. Georgina Meloni, Italy's former leader, is it the wife or the daughter, is saying, I'm bringing more from that point. USA, South Africa's court case accusing Israel of genocide is meritless. Well, I rest my case. Let me just move from there and have look at some other stories. UN warns of humanitarian crisis in Sudan as ceasefire talks stalls. Well, now 2024 election resource the police to carry out its duty at Dambona government. But will government do that? Especially when they see that, well, the police want to actually crack the whip and make sure that things pan out the way they're supposed to be, and there will not be any underhand dealings. Remember that case that took place there and that had to go to Parliament for some hearing there where the IGP was called. Nakwale, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. Nakwale, where you listen to us from, it will be lovely to know that. And I struggle with identity. Bozuma is saying, well, it's more coming away from there. Keep the army away from elections. Adambona government. It's quite an interesting one. Will government do it all? That is a big question. I'll be telling you more about all that. Okay, so a lot more going to be coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's enjoy this tune whilst we wait for Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI to join in. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. This is from Kofi Boham, and he says, X in one basket. Yes, put your fate somewhere. Where? I didn't tell you my name. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. Welcome on board.
This is Starr Radio UK.
I was told when you want to cross the road, look left, right, and left again.
Look left, right, and left again.
If you don't do this, you could die in pain. A motor go fit to jam you insane. Aye. But one day I saw you when you called my name, and I took no precautions to look elsewhere, 'cause I can never be a casualty in your hands. Oh my Jesus, say I can never be a casualty in your hands. You have not let one person slip.
I can never be a casualty in your hands.
I am my safest with you. I can never be a casualty in your hands.
Be a casualty in your hands.
Nobody has been, and I will not be the first. I will never
I
be.
can never be a casualty in your hands.
No. 'Cause I have put
all my eggs into a basket.
that basket is you, Jesus. That basket is you, Jesus. That basket is you, Jesus.
That basket is you, Jesus.
So they can call me and say, yeah, I made my choice. I will follow till the end of the road. I have no backup plan.
Come this way.
My basket is you.
I'm not doing that on Instagram. I want to switch things around. 1 minute. I'll take this one. I'm upstairs, okay? I need to go and call your sister. I don't call sister because I'm going on the radio.
This is Starr Radio UK.
That is risky to follow Jesus, I tell you, broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. I feel
All around the world.
spend your money on fun.
In your car, at home.
On your smartphone. I love to win.
This is Starr Radio UK.
I choose to pay tithe, so don't advise me. Pay
Are you ready to turn it on?
Yeah, we're ready to turn it on.
Ready to turn it on?
All right, so now we're gonna join the studio. I'm 7 minutes behind schedule. That's why we're completely earlier on. About it, well, to join. We lose ground, because that can lose ground. So let's connect straight to the studio. And then I start about platforms that are cool. So Archie is already waiting on standby.
You don't know? Starr Radio UK, the perfect African radio station in London. Don't you worry. Part of the program, but hey, for now, we gotta get on. Because I've got with me Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI, my colleague and co-presenter, who is joining, and now we're going to be bringing you all that you need to know when it comes to the updates from where? Nigeria this morning. So let me see whether we can hear him. Yomi, massive good morning to you.
A very good morning to you back in the studio, and I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yes, okay. Earlier on, your this was frozen, but it's good now. Don't worry about it. Okay, yes. How are you doing? How is the family?
Well, we're doing very well. The family, we're still on holiday mode, so that means that we have to do most of the work that the teachers does for the next couple of days until the children return back to school. But for now, we have to be the one in charge. But I say good morning, and I hope yours are doing very well, just as many of our listeners that have joined us as usual. It is the last day of the week, and that literally means that there's still a lot to catch up from Nigeria this morning, on the Starr Radio UK with yourself and myself and many of our listeners when it comes to news update from Nigeria.
Yes, listeners, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI, my colleague and co-presenter in our North London studios, and we're going to be bringing you, as he said, everything from where? Nigeria this morning. Okay, now let's kick off by a story pertaining to the EFCC. I mean, if they will go to any place, one business entity that worldwide, everybody quotes, when they hear his name, everybody wants to somehow be associated with him. And they say, you know what, the EFCC has gone to Dangote's industrial headquarters. Tell us more about that story.
Well, every Nigerians and everyone around the world knows, the biggest venture of our time, and that is, the Dangote, refinery, owned by, one man known as Dangote, is the Africa largest oil facility, which is now, we were told that it's completed, but I don't think it's fully completed, but it is halfway through. But yesterday, as the news, we're just trying to get you, as engineer working to give us the background, because not everybody knows him. But again, like I said, Dangote is well known around the world for, not just, his business venture, but also for a lot of work that it does in different parts of Africa. Remember that Dangote sells most of his cement in most African countries. But the news broke out yesterday that the EFCC, anti-graft agency, conduct search on the most important part of Dangote head office in Lagos State. As much as many people might be wondering why Dangote still have his empire headquarters in Lagos State. Lagos is still where the happening is going. If you're not in Lagos, you are probably missing, because as much as Abuja seems to be the capital, Lagos is still the venture of the world. So that means that the Dangote project is still operating right inside Lagos State. But let's give you a bit of more background to what we know so far. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, known as the EFCC, are currently conducting a search operation at the Lagos head office of the Dangote Group. The EFCC operatives are reportedly conducting a search on the forex allocations. I want us to take note of that. The forex allocation to the company during the tenure of the former CBN governor Godwin Emefiele as the governor of the central bank. According to Dele Oyewale, the spokesman for the EFCC, says, and I quote, confirmed that, also said that on Tuesday, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, like we said earlier yesterday, received its first shipment of 1 million barrels of Bonny light crude oil that was supplied by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. There's been a lot of Nigerians that are very, very skeptical with Dangote. It seems that many believe that Dangote is just another front, but was making use of much advantage as a monopoly or as an organization that was using the CBN to backtrack a lot of the project that he was doing. But I don't think any country would not want to allow a big venture like this to be supported by the federal government. But why is the searchlight now heading into the Dangote is the question this morning. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, but for now, that is the current situation, as we can say, coming from the news headline in Nigeria.
Now, has there been any response from the Dangote establishment? It's that maybe, when there are issues like that, they tell that, no, we don't think that we've done anything. Or they are saying that, well, as far as we are concerned, we've not done anything wrong, and therefore, you can do whatever you want to do. What has been their response?
Well, so far, I've not picked anything, but I will see if there's anything coming from their social media handle where I believe they also speak to many Nigerians from. But like I said, there's nothing wrong if any organization is being looked into. But right now, as I speak to you, what is trending on the social media is picking on the Dangote itself. I'm talking about the Dangote, group of ventures where many Nigerians are following the situation. But like I said, if I pick up on anything on the update from the Dangote itself, I'll be telling you that. But for now, let me come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in the North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria at the moment. Now, let's when you look at the story, they are doing all because they reckon that Emefiele, some way, somehow, sort of was in cahoots with him to give him all the means that the foreign exchange that he needs to be doing his business. And as you have confirmed that that is good. I mean, you go to the bank, they'll tell you, bring your business plan. They look at the business plan. If it's good, why not? Why not? So are they going to, at a point, bring Buhari in there as well? Because I know that Emefiele will not give huge sums of foreign exchange to Dangote's establishment without the consent of the president. We know that here things work differently, but when it comes to Nigeria or African continent, it doesn't work that way. What do you think?
Well, you're quite right. As many Nigerians believe that nothing would have happened if the present administration the previous administration have not given the go-ahead. We know that, like I said earlier, every country would love to make sure that it can protect, businesses that are doing very well. We talked about Amazon here, employ about 75,000 workers. So the last thing the British government would like to not support, Amazon, to make sure that they are paying the right taxes, and also to support the businesses and many people that are working with this, group of companies. But like I said, nothing is coming from the Dangote at the moment. Maybe they're just allowing the EFCC to continue their operation. But what have been the reaction is what you might want to ask me. There's been a lot of many reactions, and I'm going to pick one from Mr. Kalu Aja. Mr. Kalu Aja is an author, Making Money, Economy, and Personal Finance to Make It Easy. Is also someone that is consulted on when it comes to the financial sector in Nigeria and so many other areas as well. So what is he saying? Before Dangote, there were folks like Archie Alao, Otto Eze, to mention a few, where are their factories? So again, many people are saying, why is it just one person or one group of people that are making so much in terms of production in Nigeria today? There is no magnificent wealth created in Nigeria without holding the hand of the government. I want you to take note of that. There is no magnificent wealth created in Nigeria without the holding hand. So that means that if I want to become very powerful and rich, well, I have to hold the hands of the government. And it doesn't matter, whether it is the APC, the PDP. These are individuals that do not criticize. We know that same things happen in UK, where the Conservative and the Labour Party have, what they call their donors, and they don't want to upset them too much. Dangote started building cement plant from zero capacity. What were the WAPCO, the CCNN, and others were doing? A question mark. Why didn't WAPCO build new cement plant in the exact same spot Dangote did? Question mark. Why did they leave cash on the table? Question mark. Dangote has perfected the act of government patronage. That is all he has done, and he has done it, perfected it. There's a mansion I saw in this new Nigeria up northeast with gold, oil, no life there. The owner is an oil magnate. He donates to schools abroad. How much has the guy invested in Nigeria? Question mark. Where is his factory? Question mark. What about Mr. Ibeto? Question mark. Why did he not build a similar cement factory in Inkalugu? Question mark. Dangote has an onshore is import business and is making money from Nigeria. When the Dangote refinery starts to work, Dangote will become the undisputed richest man in Africa from question mark investing in Nigeria. Remember the PZ? They left Nigeria a long time ago. A Nigerian bought the right. That is Nemet. It is still there. Look at Innocent Motors. Look at his footprint today. Doing business in Nigeria is hell. Wow. But those that can crack that code will become billionaires. My summary, we need more Nigerian billionaires to invest in Nigeria than the Oyibo that will come.
I agree with the person 101%. Because the thing is, you have people who have made lots of money and their investments are outside. So how does it benefit the people in our countries? So if Dangote is doing that and all his investment is in Nigeria, what is wrong? I know that he has other investments, but majority of his stake is there. Now somebody said something to me when we started saying this, and he's saying that it is a conspiracy because those in the oil industry know that with the refinery that is going to stop or cut short those who import finished oil products into the country, petrol, diesel, and all that. So they think that, well, some people have gone in there to try to sabotage or do that. But it's a conspiracy that we are talking about. We hope to know exactly what is going on. But, well, if we said I'm going to be just quiet and let things like that happen, well, I've never met Dangote. I've never benefited from any of his businesses. No, I have not. But if somebody's doing the right thing and is helping us, I don't think we have to come against them that particular way that the EFCC have done. But who knows? Listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on. Now we talk about education. And education is one of the factors that helps development. Now, if you have healthy people and you have education, then I can tell you for sure that, look, given an enabling environment, your country will thrive. But this is the case where in one particular state, they are saying that 50% of the people in Enugu cannot read. So the question is, are the teachers who are teaching them, well knowledgeable, are they equipped enough to teach them? Or is it that the environment is such that when the children even get to the classroom, they are so hungry, they don't even have the head to study? Yomi, what is causing this?
Well, like you said, I remember when you arrive in UK, you wonder why someone that doesn't have full qualification but is well read to some extent has become the manager and supervisor. But you that you have got this good education, don't have that access. Well, let's start with the state that you talked about. We're talking about the southeast part of Nigeria today, and that is again Enugu State. Enugu State, just like many other states across the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a state in the southeast geopolitical zone of Nigeria. It borders to the north by the state of Benue and Kogi, Ebonyi State to the east, and the southeast, Abia State to the south, and Anambra to the west. The state, its name is from the capital city, Enugu. It was founded on the 27th of August, 1991, with about almost 13,161 kilometers square. What we are discussing this morning is also the same replication to all the other states as well. But according to the news coming out from Enugu, says 50% of the pupils in Enugu cannot read, say, according to the SSG. I received, the only letter that came into the house yesterday, was addressed to my son, my younger one, and it is coming from the school. And as I was giving it to him, he was able to read every details of the message from the school, congratulating them that they are still on holiday, and also, other things that was said in there. The question is, after 6 years of primary school, 50% of our children cannot read a single word in English. Could that be that maybe because, again, we shouldn't be using English to teach them? Again, if it was a local language, maybe they would have picked on it, because, again, that has been the argument in Africa, that we have been given the English, even though English is not our original language. When you go to China, they don't have to read in English, but they can read and write in their own language. The secretary to the Enugu State government says, Professor Chidibere Oye, says 50% of the pupils in that state can neither read in English nor even solve a simple mathematics question. I'm sure if they allow to read in their language, they might be able to perform well. But since the British colonized Nigeria, English has been our main first language, while other languages, which about 350 languages in Nigeria, has become a second class.
But Yomi, somebody would say that when it comes to, English language, the French colonies, the former French colonies also use French, and then we have the Portuguese and the various ones. Now, you look at the world as a whole, you want to be able, because the world has become a very small place, a global village, and therefore we have to have a way of communicating. You would say, you are talking about the Chinese, who we know they like their language, but you have them, those who want to enter into the international scene, will have to know how to communicate. Okay, so definitely we have them learning English language. So fine. We could have a state where we have the English language, and then we have, let's say, Yoruba, or, I don't know, the Igbo, or whatever language, a local language that we or traditional languages that we were born with or that we could use. But I'm of the view that the way the teachers are mainly teaching them, because you were educated in Nigeria before you had your basic education, let me put it that way, secondary. Before you came here and you came to uni and did everything that you have to do here, but you were well informed. So how come?
Well, again, I think if we go back to the regional government, this is where the legend, we call him the legend of the time, and even though he died in the 80s, about 1982, if I'm right, I'm talking about the one and only, the late Obafemi Awolowo. This is where somebody like the Professor Banji Akintoye, continue to emphasize that the education sector in Nigeria today have been destroyed after the collapse of the regional government. So what we are witnessing in the southeast is because of the collapse of what is called the regional government. The regional government, as at the time, gave everything possibly best to allow every region to develop to the standard. The question is, why have we not got the best of what we should say the education in Enugu State? Is it because we're lacking, the materials? What about the teachers? Are they well trained, to be able to cope and manage these students from the nursery up to the secondary? But on top of these, our children suffer skill gap because existing mode of teaching do not equip children with scientific, technological, productivity, and digital competencies. The student here in UK, my children, immediately they come back from school after having their meal, they pick up their iPad. That iPad, they logging into the system, which is called the Mathletics. That automatically connect to the school. Whatever they are doing right there is submitted to the school, and that also gives them some kind of reward. And like I said, every now and then their target is to get to gold, because by the time they complete about 10 or section of it, it then increase their level of understanding. But in Nigeria today, when they talk about the technological part of it, the question is, does a child has full electricity, not to talk about having the tablet to be able to work with? I remember one of the former governor of Osun State, as at the time, created a smart same thing. But all we know is it ended up to become another corrupt system, making somebody rich. And today, there's nothing called smart technology or smart schooling in that particular state, in Osun State. And again, we come back. But it seems that the Senate are doing their best. Which takes me to the next headline. There's a bill to establish 47 new varsities that scales the second reading. The number of the federal-owned universities in Nigeria may hit 99 in the coming months, as a bill to establish 47 new ones has now scaled through the second reading. This is just as about 56 bills have passed the second reading to establish federal medical centers in different parts of the country. The report currently says that there are 52 federal universities in Nigeria, with some of the state federation hosting more than one. Also, there's considering various bills to establish 32 federal colleges of education, 11 federal colleges of agriculture, 5 federal polytechnics, in addition to the already existing institution. So you can see that the government is also trying to produce more, but is the quality good? Because we've heard yesterday that there is now fake education where you can study for 4 days for a 4-year program in some of the African countries.
Who knows? That is expedited education. You just go 4 days, you are finished, you have a degree. Interesting, right? Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. What do you think about everything that we are discussing so far this morning? I wanted to have your take. You can put it on our comment page on Facebook, YouTube, and all the platforms that we are broadcasting on. Or when the lines are open, you can call in and we will allow you to bring your take to us. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Now let's move on to one most important thing that is happening in Nigeria, that something has to be done about it, and that is insecurity. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents have killed the pastor, Luka Levon, of the Church of Christ Nation. And he's talking, and then we were talking about the fact that out of that, another 10 terrorists have been killed, 9 victims rescued in Katsina. So insecurity is going on. We're talking about 2023, the first 6 months of the president, and everything that has gone on. But it looks like we are still on the ascendancy instead of being on descendancy, because we have new security top hooks. We were expecting that they will, by this time, 6 months, settle down and would have come up with something tangible for us to see that when it comes to security, you are working on it. But it doesn't seem to be so. You know what I mean?
Well, as we continue to monitor what is happening in Plateau State, I can confirm that there's going to be a protest at the Nigerian High Commission on the 10th of January, for the massacre that has taken place in Plateau State. But, also in the last 48 hours, we're hearing that more people have been massacred and killed by the same, Fulani Boko Haram terrorists in Kaduna State. 5 suspected Boko Haram insurgency killed pastor, 5 others in Yobe State. As we continue to ask questions around, what the government will be doing differently, to secure Nigerians, from these activities of the terrorists that have become one of the biggest threats right now to the economy, to the, welfare of so many Nigerians. Boko Haram insurgents have killed Pastor Luka Levong of the Church of Christ in Nation in Kwari Garden local government area of Yobe State. The attackers also killed 5 people. On the 2nd of January, like I said, there's always a delay in news from Nigeria. We picked up, from some of the community in Atisbo local government area in Oyo State, where they were heading to the farm 2 people have been massacred. They are not dead, but they are almost half dead because they are on their bed with machetes and all kind of injury to the body. One of them is no longer been found. Is now 20 million these Fulani terrorists are asking from. So it's not just in Southwest. We can see that the insecurity is becoming alarming, but it seems that the budget of 27 trillion naira from the present administration also has the budget for the military. Will the military be able to take it, to support? I listened to the video of the individuals that were killed in Plateau State. They went to the checkpoint, requested the military to come and support, but what the military that they met at the checkpoint said was, yes, they have this firepower here, but they haven't got the weapon to come and rescue the current savage. And that led to over 200 people killed because the military at the checkpoint did not have ammunition to fight against the insurgents of the terrorists in Plateau State just before Christmas.
That is a sad one. That is a sad one. It is a sad one there. I was of the view that, well, new security chiefs, and therefore we would have seen different things. 6 months on, and it seemed to be getting worse. That maybe if you are in Nigeria and listening to us, oh, you've been there of late and you're back wherever you are, and you think that no. What we are saying, we are talking about it differently. Feel free and let us know. But yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, when we were talking about the recruitment? I think it was yesterday, and where we had some audio pertaining to some group, Kaduna youth, who were imposing themselves as people from the south or from Lagos State, and saying that they were going to get the get recruited into the army. But a group is saying that is telling the army recruitment, a group false arrest of Kaduna youth in Lagos. Yomi.
Well, the youth wing of the Southern Kaduna People's Union has condemned the arrest of 4 youth originally from Kaduna, residing in Lagos and seeking enlistment into the Nigerian army. The union national coordinator, Issa John, in a statement today, said the constitution defines Nigerian citizenship and the Nigerian military outlines specific requirements and eligibility criteria for enlistment, none of which pertain to linguistic or tribal consideration, such as the ability to speak Yoruba. So this group is already faulting, the interviewers for asking people from Kaduna State that now have the indigenous certificate, which they've already confirmed is fake, because they were not given this certificate from any of the local government that they mentioned. They actually went to the internet cafe and decided to design and print it out themselves and try to enlist themselves into the military slot that is meant for the Lagos State. But the Lagos State government have now called for the arrest and the trial of the 6 northern candidates participating in this Nigerian army recruitment process, who are claiming to be indigenous of the state, but yet they're not. But it seems that, from Kaduna State, the union national coordinator of the Southern Kaduna People's Union is already condemning, that says that the Nigerian constitution allows you to be part of the Nigerian military, but maybe they forgot to mention that these individuals were also creating a fake identity to make themselves being a Lagos indigene, even though it was all done from the internet cafe, somewhere maybe in Kaduna, and brought it to Lagos State.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Bishop Adesina is talking about education. He says, God have mercy. Fake education. Bishop, yes, yes. You want to have a degree, 4 days, no, Charlie, you have your degree, you have after all, the president has a fake certificate of it. But interestingly, now, you see, yesterday when we were discussing this issue pertaining to the recruitment thing and eligibility, I said that, are they, so far as somebody is in Nigeria, they should be allowed, but you were saying that no, they've done it so that everyone will have to be recruited from their own state where they hail from. So, does it not actually break Nigeria into bits?
Well, it is just, remember that what the way the constitution is designed is to make sure that to bring everybody on board into part of the military. So if you're going to employ someone into the military, it has to be, across board. So that means that you have to then give allocations to each of the states so that they can be part of the, different, military or the security agencies in the country. But it seems that what we saw from this viral video is that some individuals pretending to be indigene of the state, which they are not, and trying to take the slot that belongs to the Lagos. Doesn't mean that the Lagos indigene and the northern indigene and the southeast indigene and the middle belt will not all work in one uniform when they get employed or posted in different regions. But it's just that these were pretending to be indigene that they are not. But again, it seems that the Lagos state government is now asking for a thorough investigation, and some are already concerned that maybe this has been going on for some time. It didn't start today.
Okay, listen at Starr Radio UK, 11:37 the time. We'll go to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, we go straight to some of those, headlines and reports as we continue to monitor the power firms, are now saying that they will need $2.5 billion, to be able to get the new capital, federal government. Electricity is a big problem, not just in, Africans, but for those that do not want to invest in it. We've been talking about, the power sector in Nigeria for the last 63 years, but it involves and it needs a lot of money to be able to get it up and going. Nigerian electricity companies are short of an estimated 2 trillion naira, equivalent to about $2.5 billion in capital, and they need new investors to revive the industry that can barely supply power to its 200 million residents. The power companies in Nigeria are over-leveraged, undercapitalized, which has limited their capacity to invest in distributing electricity to households. Olu, an advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the energy, said in an interview to Bloomberg on Thursday yesterday, Nigeria generates and supply between 3,500 megawatts, 4,500 megawatts to the millions of citizens across its 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. On Thursday, for instance, the country's power generated was just under 5,000 as at 6 a.m. Inadequate pricing patch. I'm getting a feed coming back from you there, Mr. Archie. Inadequate pricing patch, revenue collection, and a dilapidated national grid have left most residents in Africa's most populated nation to produce their own using noisy generator. Let's take a case of Lagos State. The grid delivers 1,000 megawatts. I'm talking about 1,000 megawatts. That is not enough to some organizations that are using huge amount of that. I'm sure, Dangote will be needing more of that to power the refinery 24/7. But the whole of 25 million people that are living in Lagos State will have to depend and rely on 1,000 megawatt. By contrast, Shanghai, with roughly the same population, let's take a note of this. Shanghai, with the roughly same population of Lagos State, supplies nothing less than 30,000 megawatt at a peak demand. And when we talk about peak demand, I'm sure when you watch the Premier League, the moment the Premier League goes, because I've seen this documentary before, goes into the halftime, many people want to make their cup of tea. And that means that the heating system as at that time need extra support. And that literally means that, more power is generated at that particular time. That means that Lagos State will never compete with Shanghai because we are losing about 29,000 megawatts that we don't have. What do we do? How do we resolve these problems? It's just the same questions that have been going on. Let's hope that this administration will allow investors to give Lagos State what it needs and power Lagos State to the extent of where we need it. I'm going to take us straight again to, more into the business, and then I'll go straight to the social media. It is still the Friday, the first Friday of the month of January in 2024. Passengers seek extension as federal government transport subsidy ends. Who doesn't want anything that is free? I'm sure when they say buy one, get one free, you might as well want to check the price that maybe you're not buying one free, you are buying the same price for the two. But as Nigerians have enjoyed that little leeway of the subsidy from the government, maybe because the subsidy was removed in May and the government decided to give subsidy during the holiday period. But that cannot continue because many Nigerians must remember that money that were used to build this railway were borrowed and we got to pay it back. And that literally means that subsidy on the rail transport will probably not continue. Some passengers have called on President Bola Tinubu to extend the 50% transport rebate deadline to enable Nigerians to travel to various parts of the country during the Christmas celebration to return to their destination. This came as reports say that 6,000 passengers benefited from the scheme at the Oshodi Transport Interchange in Lagos. The managing director of Planet Project, Abiodun Otunlola, disclosed this in Lagos yesterday. Otunlola, who was briefing the media at the closing event of the initial, expressed delight that the program had positively impacted many Nigerians, as evidenced by the surge in the number of travelers that was recorded during that period. So let's hope that something can be done differently. Jigawa eyes 2 million tons of wheat for export. We need a lot of wheat. President appoints 6 executive directors of the NPA and NIMASA, and the foundation supports small, medium enterprise. And the last one is, let us prioritize manufacturing industry. Coleman tells the federal government, if we are not producing anything, we will not have the forex, and many Nigerians will rely on the diaspora to continue to live in that same poverty. The managing director of the Coleman Wires and Cable, George Onofowokon, has urged the federal government to place its priority on the manufacturing sector in 2024. In a statement, Onofowokon appealed to the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment to take the plight of manufacturers to the presidency. According to the MD, having a minister who does not advocate for industry within the government indicates that there's a problem. He also emphasized that the industry should take the precedence over the trade and investment. Again, any industry will need power. Without power, the industry is as dead as a river. Let's go straight to what is happening on the social media before I return back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Bonu youth take urine, lizard dung, methylated spirit to get high. It seems that everybody wants to get high, but we continue to say the abuse of drugs continue in Nigeria, and we hope the administration of President Bola Tinubu will be doing everything possibly best to revive many Nigerians from taking drugs, or those that are also planning to take drugs out of Nigeria, and they probably return back if they survive with goods and sell it as businessman and businesswoman. And many people have been caught as they continue the fight against taking drug out of Nigeria. The U.S. convict 10 Nigerians over transnational cybercrime in the marketplace. And also, let's say that yesterday, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, Professor Adebanji Akintoye's phone was compromised. If you're listening to us and messages are coming that it needs money, it is important that that phone is no longer in his care. It has been hijacked. And as we always say all the time, let us take the security of our phones very, very serious. So yesterday, the breaking news came out from Benin Republic that the mobile phone ending with 9885 of the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Campaign, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, has been compromised. And we have been told to say to everyone out there that if you or one of those of you that have access to that number prior to that, I received a message, just as many Nigerians, or many Yorubas rather, have received the same messages, that Professor Adebanji needs money because he wanted to do some transaction from his phone, but he's unable to do so. So let's go now to what is happening on the social media. Betty Edu is trending, and I'm sure if you are not aware of her, she is the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Elevation under this present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why is she trending this morning? Let's see if we can find out. Alima Shehu was arrested for channeling a whopping 17 billion naira into a private account without the authorization of the president. And now there's a fresh case of Betty Edu in an alleged involvement of misappropriation of another 3 billion naira. What is wrong with women? Well, women are very powerful when it comes to politics. Women are very hardworking, but it seems that in Nigeria, women sometimes also dip their hands in the coffer. We know that, the case of Alison Madueke Designing will be coming into UK, in 2025. It is still an allegation, but we know that what we've had is that under the NCA, the National Crime Agency in UK, have decided to bring her to court. We saw her at the court for a very first time after a very long time living quietly in UK. Even she said she's currently have a cancer. Now let's pick on another one from the social media. Omotayo Williams _ Kaduna resident sacked the NISPA CEO Alima Shehu has stated that she moved 30 billion naira. She's accused of embezzling to the other account because the minister Betty Edu wanted to embezzle everything. So it seems that Betty Edu wanted to embezzle, so somebody moved it as well. She stated that Betty has already misappropriated 3 billion in 1 month. Okay, let me not mix the picture together. The one behind me right now is the Lima, and the one we're going to be bringing up now is Betu. We'll try and see if we can match them together on Monday, but it seems already that corruption, like some say, is already, in this present administration. You can hear that billions and billions is being moved. So right there behind you in the camera is the minister that has moved the 30 billion, but the one that wants to take 3 billion is because she's the minister for education. Maybe she needed it for something, but again, that is Betu Edu right behind me. So we don't mix them together. These are two new women working under this new administration already. You can hear the reason why they are trending. Nigeria is a crime scene. She stated that Betty has already misappropriated 3 billion in 1 month, and Betty is the one behind me there. So Omotayo Williams saying Nigeria is a crime scene. We take one more from the trending of these two individuals. Kebby King at Kebby_King Jr. say Alima Shehu. Again, I don't want us to mix it together. This is Alima. Alima Shehu was arrested for challenging whooping 17 billion into private account without authorization of the president. And the first case is that Betu, which is the next one, is the one trying to move the money. So Nigerians are kind of like, what is going on? This is a new administration, but already we're talking about billions and billions being moved around. What is also trending this morning? Dangote is trending. So let's pick on the reaction of Nigerians on Dangote as we started this morning from Dangote, firm. Ifa Funsho says, and I quote, over 11 years now, Dangote has been the richest man in Africa, but this man here has taken over from him as the current richest man in Africa. He's a South African billionaire. He runs Swiss-based luxury goods. And the reaction coming from the Kalu, the one we spoke about earlier, I DM you, it wasn't going through. How else can I reach you? Well, I got your DM and responded. That's a different private message. Excuse. Nigerians are a bunch of hypocrites. Excuse. This is coming from King of Salem. They have 1 million reasons they won't do business in Nigeria. Now, when they relocate abroad, you would think they would do business there. Story, excuse, and it is just excuse. And the last one before I come to you back in the studio, Ebuka info at Ebuka NW 82 86 61 48 says that go. The problem is not investing in Nigeria. The issue is the economic, social, and political environment of Nigeria. A lot of investors want to come to Nigeria, including Nigerians in the diaspora. But the issue is that almost every sector is enmeshed in endemic corruption. The general election of 2023 left nothing to be desired of Nigeria. What will the judiciary do when you seek redress in the court of law? Question mark. Kindly note that it has both intended and unintended consequences. That is the cheapest truth, brother. And this tweet already has generated almost close to 97,000 views since yesterday till today.
Well, listeners, quite an interesting development coming from Nigeria this morning to you. But Bishop Adesina says it is just like Scottish claiming indigenous of English in the same United Kingdom. Those northerners have the right certificate of independence of Kaduna. Okay, that's pertaining to, I think, the recruitment. Yeah, what we're talking about, indigens who have to, apply in their own hometowns, not coming to another state where they don't hail from. But interestingly, somebody also has said that, well, they are talking, the EFCC is talking about the misuse of the foreign exchange by Dangote. So we will need more information to be able to agree or disagree with whatever they are doing. And the final one also talks about the fact that, well, when we put headers like that in before people who are trying to invest and do something in our countries, then others look at it and think, what is the point? Let's invest outside. And that is why most of our people don't want to invest in our countries, because there's no fair treatment when it comes to law and everything. Yomi?
Well, you're quite right. Like I said, it seems that when Fela already said it, may so rest in peace, party government, just not the government. And as long as you are not criticizing the government as a organization, you will survive. But those are criticized, you will probably lose everything. But let's hope that this administration has many expectations, is literally coming from both the Southwest, the Middle Belt, and the North, that Bola Tinubu will make some of those changes. But that is for those that believe in the country Nigeria. For those of us that are still demanding and asking that we want the right to self-determination, we hope that that right will continue to be propelled in a way that will not hinder whatever some might be thinking, that it seems that when you ask for such right, you are bringing war to Nigeria. Self-determination is not a war. It is just a right of the indigenous people to decide whether they want to be part of Nigeria or not.
Okay, let me say thank you very, very much for this wonderful update once again.
Bye for now.
Have a lovely weekend, and we'll catch up later.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI bringing you updates from Nigeria, and I am Archie. I'm going to be continuing with morning.
Okay, I don't know where the sound. I'm getting another feed coming somewhere.
I am Archie, and we're going to be continuing with the morning show. But for now, we're going to be taking some music. And then once it.
Okay, sorry about that. There's always. I was getting another feed that was flittering into too. When you have too many, system running. So, Yava. Mama. Okay. Okay, well, let me play something temporarily while we will come back. King Coffee, the Delori sit me. So let's come back here. Okay, happy Friday. If you're new to the platform, it is called the Koikimedia. It will not be the same platform like other platforms, but this is where the truth always comes up. So let's bring everything back like this, because we're no longer let's bring this back as well like this. Let's bring this back to me. Yeah, so change my position of my cameras to me, because at the Korolori Starr Radio, and let me happy Friday. So let me take this one out as well and bring my camera on the MixLR, OBS rather. So let's remove this one. Let's remove that one. Yeah. And that's it, yeah. So that's about it. Now we're and I should go. All right, I'm going to stand up for a few minutes because I need to attend to one or two things. So let me go and look for Babakitoye video. I think I downloaded it. I don't have to go to YouTube. I think it was downloaded. I put more downloaded. Tofibawa Soronijo first. So let's listen to that. Bonnie Prof. So let me see what he compromise. Okay, somebody say Koiki. Well, auntie me compare me Koiki play video if I want you.
It's not about.
Enoti brother wa OLAKUNLE, the former Navy Colonel. I'm sure most of us remember him. Tosoroli channels known some years back, tackling national security challenges in Nigeria. every time not on trial to tackle security in Nigeria, you know, they never finished tackling it. That's in 1999, you know. Obasanjo performed that nígbà tó ń wà níbẹ̀ in terms of security. I can't remember, you know, did Obasanjo perform very well? You know, maybe you should help me to, because sometimes, yeah. So the green background, la man load about the lossy studio. Oh, Navy ni, okay, ṣé gan ni ìyá mi, mo jáde sọ́yà. Gbogbo ala rántí fídíò yẹn àbí? Sister mi kan ní Koiki jọ bá mi play video yẹn fáwọn èèyàn wa. Called Boy Again. It's about 4 minutes 13 seconds. We can't tell Lori TikTok. Good morning once again. About our like, about our share. You know, it helps the algorithm. It helps it, you know, because they about like, they about share. You're not sending a message to the social media handles, even though we know that they are working against Muki Egbomi Jaya, the voice of Yoruba Nation. But voice me Jade Nibi by. Emma Bino, I didn't realize that my voice is not coming out. Emma Bino and Tewa Lori OLAYOMI KOIKI. Voice and change out anything. It's not easy when you're working on your own. You know, yeah, voice and change out anything. Yeah, my mic was muted because desktop audio sorry, studio lecon. That's fine now. I think we're good now. So, when you like to be so we're live on multiple platforms all the time. We're trying our best so that we can be able to reach more people.
Sentiment is that there are a group of people in this country that feels that this country should be Islamized. This is a fact. I say you want me to start mentioning names of people in this government that we have interrogated. I was a member of an interrogation team, and I've interrogated a very high-ranking member of this government in 2007, 2008 on the issue of Boko Haram. I interrogated him. He's in this government right now. And what was the issue? Boko Haram. And this senior officer was actually let go because he was found culpable. But right now he's in the government. You see, we must say the truth, because if you don't, this country is going down the precipice. We have been set back more than 60 years right now. We've gone back to the time before 1966 now. And whoever is coming back to repair this country has a lot of work to do. This country has never been polarized, so we cannot run away from it. We have never been this much polarized. I'm a federal person. My mind is federal. My brain is federal. My loyalty is federal. I do things for the federal government. So I cannot come here and try to be sentimental. No, I'm a federal person.
So will your life be at risk now that they're hearing you?
I don't care. I don't care. And my colleagues, they know me. Those people that listen to me, they know me. I don't care. The issue is that this country is bigger.
It's bigger. All right.
Individual.
Okay.
That is the issue.
It might be no. I have to bring the broadcast on end right now, so I'll come back later, and then we will continue. I have to deal with some other things behind the scene. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. At least you've listened to the first two broadcasts. Hopefully, we'll come back again later and do more. Happy Friday. Ogumolani Dangote and EFCC are the same family. All right, thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much. So I got to go now. I will be back later on as we continue the campaign for the Yoruba Nation. A very good morning to everyone. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Inamaje Ọjọ́ Karùn-ún nínú oṣù àkọ́kọ́ ọdún 2024. The first Friday, Ẹlọ́kí Jímọ̀ ẹ̀yin Mùsùlùmí, ẹ̀yin Kristẹni, mo kí àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe, mo kí gbogbo náà. Yoruba Nation, no going back. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now.